Alright, good connection. We can see the map, so I guess that means that the live is now running. So this is a mission I built this afternoon. It's meant for an F4 right now because that's all I had time to put in. But I'm planning to maybe add more blue aircraft in there and maybe even red side aircraft. We'll see. But basically it's located near Hamburg, which is where we'll take off from. And then we're going to head near the border area here, which runs through the map like this in this sector. And what I did is I put some blue forces there and there. And I guess the blue forces found a way to destroy a bridge here. And so there's going to be some blocked T-72s that are going to be stuck there. They can't get across the bridge. There are some BMPs and BTRs that manage to get across, but there are some friendlies like that are waiting for them there. And in the southern part here, probably where some enemy units might have tried to go around to get to the nearest bridge, there's been like a battle, so here there's going to be lots of burning vehicles. And the idea is that a group of T-80s are trying to go around the forest here to get to these positions there. And somebody, like I guess infantry in the forest, spotted them, and now they've called in for air support, and we're going to fly our F4 to our IP over here, and then we'll head in that direction, try to look for them with mavericks, shoot the moving T-80s there. And then once we get those, we'll have some bombs as well on the plane, and we'll try to go hit the blocked T-72s. Now, if we try to go hit those guys, there's going to be AAA there. There's a ZSU-23 along with BMPs. Those can fire back at us. And on the other side here, there's a little bit of danger because there's some SA-8s, Manpads, AAA, and I think I put an SA-2 site further down, so we can't go too far east because it's dangerous. But we can move around the border here and try to get our mission accomplished. So that's really what we're going to try to do. It's just meant for a fun mission to shoot some mavericks, drop some bombs, and see, there's a helicopter there, so we'll see if we spot it or not. But that's the whole idea, so there should be a little bit of action there. So hopefully you'll enjoy the flight. In my case, it was one of the good ways to check out another area I hadn't really checked yet in the Cold War map. It's funny because sometimes when I get a new map, I just do a little bit of sightseeing. But with this map, I felt like building missions before I started doing any sightseeing. So most of the sightseeing I do is as I fly along. Probably should have preloaded the mission before, but again, it's new mission. We're flying, as you can see behind the thing there, there's a ZSU waiting for us in a field there, so we'll have to be careful about that particular threat. And there we go. We'll let the textures load. It might take a little while. Didn't think of maybe rebooting my computer because earlier I was flying with my wingman and we went to fly on the Kola map tonight in the winter for a little change of pace. But now we're in summertime on the Cold War map in an F4. So I think we'll be good to go now. So you'll get it. Chance to see what things look like. So this is the F4 that I'll be flying, and so I've loaded it with let me just get rid of that sound. I've loaded it with 2 Mavericks. I've got 4 Sidewinders, and I've got some bombs underneath. I think these are Mark 83s. I don't know if the Germans had those or not, but since often Americans were on the same bases, these were probably available in Germany. And so that's why I'm using that loadout. I wanted to drop big bombs on tanks, bombs that will be big enough to blow up the tanks, and I have these two Mavericks for the moving T-80s that we're going to try to intercept. And just again to give you an idea of what we're doing, we saw this guy earlier, right? And so he's waiting there close to that bridge that's been destroyed there. And on the road near the bridge, you see those tanks moving. They'll be stuck on the road because they can't get across. So these will be the targets we'll try to get with the bombs. And in the area past this big forest here, there's going to be some T-80s somewhere, or around here I think, that will appear when we get to the area. And this is the area that I described on the map earlier where there had been some fighting. So lots of little fires. And there's even like a large plume of smoke in the distance there. So I think that plume of smoke indicates more or less the area where the SA-8 is. So that's going to be a big area not to go to for me. So that's the sector where we're going to operate. So let's get back to our cockpits so that we can set up our things here. Let's get the joystick out of the way. We'll start with this on TV because we'll fire the Mavericks first. It's already on TV, but we need to put it on direct. We'll start this up, start the timer. I'm still going to set my bombs ahead of time. And so we'll go like this, and I think I'll drop maybe all three bombs together when I switch to that. And I'm going to get my bombing table, set that up prior to taking off. Running speed, that should be good. This maybe we'll try to drop from a little bit higher. The target I think is at like 65 feet. Dive angle, usually I go about 20. So let's say that to Jester. For my spacing I put 0.8.
Roger.
So that's done and out of the way. Can set that. I think for the reticle it's around 40, 45. I don't use the reticle much for the Mavericks, but still it's going to be useful to aim the nose generally in the direction of where we want to shoot. The rest here looks kind of good. We've got our external fuel tanks. I think we're already on... No, we're not on the frequency. Let's check the frequency for the Hamburg airfield. 252350. Go manual sets, and then we can test if see if it works.
In field 4, request startup. In field 4, request taxi to runway.
Got a little view of the moon there. And of course they tell us to taxi on the wrong runway, so we'll just
Time to go fly.
go to
Hell
the one
yeah.
that we want to go to.
In field 4, request takeoff.
The mirrors on. Gotta look cool. Who cares if it's wartime? You gotta look cool with the sunglasses. One of the things I noticed here is that you have those little lights on the center arrows. So I'm just gonna go around those and get on the runway. looks like we have like smokestacks right at the end, but it's not that right at the end. We're going to be able to turn before we get to those. Sensitive on the nose wheel, but let's go.
Engine's good, airspeed off the peg. 80 knots. 100 knots.
And up she goes.
Gears moving.
See our civilian aircraft parked here. War hasn't started for a long time. People haven't had time to react much. But we're reacting now. We're gonna go shoot our mavericks. So what I'll do as I head towards my waypoint is I'll climb to about 6,000 feet. Once I get close to the target area, I'll turn on the mavericks, which right now look like they're armed, so I guess I could turn off my timer. I guess that tells me that the two arm lights that I'll be able to fire those. So we're at 4,000. We're going to climb a little higher. So yeah, we get a little glimpse of the city of Hamburg. Pretty large town. Lots of interesting structures. Somewhere in the distance we might be able to spot our big smoke, but we're still a little ways off. There it is, the big smoke. And I think the target's... yeah, it's in that area here. We've got the fires of the battle that took place there. The bridge is somewhere around there, so that's where we're going. Alright, so I'm already at 7,000 feet.
To the identification point.
Thank you, Jester. Get our autopilot on. Altitude hold set. Let's get the rudders centered. Good, nice weather with the moon visible. So I think my T-80s are going to be in that sector behind the big forest there. That's going to be the target area that I'm going to be searching.
10 miles to the identification point.
And I'm trying to see if we can... yeah, that's the area where the bridge was destroyed. So the tanks that I will try to hit are going to be somewhere there. And we have, I think, friendlies close to the wooded area there. So that's our area of operation between that and that. Always good to have a little bit of a situational awareness when you're getting into an area, especially on a map you've never flown before. At this altitude, everything looks very flat, so you can't use the mountains too much for navigation. You can see the border, that's very clear. That line that gets across with the walls and everything. So that helps. And you can see the smokes there. Alright, so let's get things ready for combat. I'm going to take control of the plane now.
Steering updated to the target point.
So what I'll do, if I can get this thing to work, is I'm going to tell Jester to hold on the next waypoint,
Okay, steering paused.
and then we'll move it. Trying to see the sector that I want to go to. Okay. This is the battle area. This is the
10
field
miles to target.
that we're going to be looking for. So I'm going to move a little bit to the right. And then I'm going to try to line up so that I'm lined up with this. Is going to make shooting the Mavericks a bit easier. Alright, that looks good. Let's turn in towards the target. Let's see if those Mavericks are ready. Yes, they are. Alright. So now I'm just gonna try to set my trim properly. Get the autopilot on.
Okay, we've got mud. 2 o'clock.
Got an SA2 that's trying to light us up. I already see some smoke in the fields. I don't know if we'll be able to lock on that. Yeah, no, that's not locking yet, but there's this one and this one.
5 miles to the
Let's
target.
start with the lead one here. I do have a lock on it, but I don't know if it's the right vehicle because there's 2 vehicles in that group.
Mud. 2 o'clock. SA8.
Okay, I think I have the lead vehicle. It looks like the bigger one, so missile away. And where's the other one? That's the
2
other
miles to the
one.
target.
Get the other one. Hopefully the missile will be able to maneuver.
We have a bandit. 12 o'clock. 5 miles. Whoa, mud. 10 o'clock.
Okay, I got one hit. I think the first one got into the trees before my missile got there, so that's one lucky bastard. I have an idea. I'm gonna reduce my ripple to 1, and I'm gonna try dropping 1 bomb on that moving T-80. It's a risk, but we'll see. Okay, so now let's change this to bombs. This center. This is already set. This is set. This is set. This is good. Now we're gonna go back to the radar, and we're gonna try to spot that T-80. This is gonna be difficult because the target is moving, so it's gonna be a one-shot deal. If I miss, I miss. Then I'll go for the T-72s. We don't know where he is. It's just where it's gonna drop. Let's try this spot.
Captured. 2 miles to the target.
I have to estimate when the bomb will get there. Let's see if we're lucky. Oh, just in front of it. I think I damaged the vehicle that was following it, so that's good. I'll take that. So now we've got 2 bombs left. What I'll do is I will switch to 2. And now I can go to the next waypoint, which is very close by. So again, this thing works when it wants to. Holding. deactivate.
You got it.
Go to tanks.
Copy that. Steering to next turn point is in.
I do have a little bit of smoke there, so there's something that's smoking. I don't know if it's the tank or... Now this is the bridge, so there's a road there, so the tanks are going to be on the road in that area. Alright, let's climb. Then we'll dive on them following the road. And then I'll make a left turn because I know that past that destroyed bridge in the field there's a AAA there. And there's an SA-8 in front of me, so I'll try not to get too close to that guy. So we're going to try to line up with that road and get some targets in that area. Oh, there's a... Somebody shot a missile. It looks like it's coming from the friendly area. That might be the helicopter. Alright, well, we'll see if I can deal with the helicopter after I drop my bombs.
We've got a bandit.
See the
12 o'clock.
vehicles
5
there.
miles. Captured. Steering updated to next turn point. Watch it, mud. 11 o'clock. Hey, hey, hey.
Bombs away. Did we hit our tanks? I think that might have fallen a little bit next to the road, not on the road itself. Alright, so what I'll do now is I'll switch to air, and then I'll put the heaters back on.
Can't do that, boss.
Not the one where we need to put this to the P thing and then come back. I forget how to do air-to-air in this thing because I'm not so good at it, so I don't do it often. Let's see if we can spot a helicopter in here. That's something flying there. Fox 2.
Bandit is going down.
Bandit's going down. Alright, we got him. So now what happens is that we need to go back to base and maybe get some ammunition. See if we can come back to get those tanks. So check if this is pointing in the right direction. I think it is. Yeah, more or less. I want to be heading there. Sorry about the annoying noise. Alright, so that. far are we? 25 miles. Let's make it a fast 25 miles. It's funny sometimes in DCS when we accelerate time, like it doesn't look like it's accelerating much. Only seems to reduce the frame rate. Alright, so my airfield is somewhere there. Is that it? I don't know. Because this is where I'm getting it really up. That's the airfield there. No, it's not. Again, lots of airfields. Yeah. There's one there and there's one a little bit further. So that one I was just looking at. There's probably another one further down. I'll just follow the waypoints. Big tower there. That might be my airfield.
Okay, turn point is updated. You got it. Steering to next point is ready.
And yep, that's it. That's the airfield. Let's get some air brakes. Gear coming down.
Field 4, inbound.
All right, gear, flaps, pressure, warning lights, and annex kit. $500.
In field 4, request navigation assistance.
$300. $100.
that's the other runway here. Let me just get my bearings there. Yeah, okay. I'll get off on this taxiway and I'll reload near here, and since they wanted us to use runway 23 the whole time, I'll take off in the other direction. So we'll park it here. We'll pretend somebody is hiding in there with bombs. And we're going to rearm. The fuel I don't need to touch. Flares, I guess is a maximum. This. I guess I'll just leave it the way it was.
Request rearming. Copy.
I don't know if my T-80s will still be moving when I get to them, or if the vehicle I got was actually the T-80 or the other one accompanying it. Yeah, there's a truck and a T-80. So there's still a T-80 moving. Took a little while to load this.
Rearming complete.
Okay, so the rearming is complete. So that was quick. So we'll go back to air to ground, and I'll turn these things on. Let's see, this is to reset, I think, or is it, yeah, okay, like that, and now we can restart. So in about 3 minutes we should have Mavericks. Yeah, we can't ask for takeoff, so we'll just take our permission. Nobody coming into Hamburg. We're gonna be taking off from Hamburg. How do I know nobody's coming into Hamburg? I built the mission, and this is the only plane in it. Because I took out the enemy helicopter. Alright, let's go.
Engine's good, airspeed off the peg. 80 knots. And 100. You got it. Steering updated to the IP.
at 6,000 feet. Autopilot engaged. So 18 miles, let's make it an 18 miles that goes a little faster.
Miles to IP.
So my guess is that my vehicles now are gonna be, let's see,
Two miles to IP.
probably in that area here. At that area we see that, so probably going to switch waypoints now, and then I'll just head for the targets.
Okay, you've got steering to the target.
I'm going to make my own steering to the targets.
10 miles to the target.
Am I looking at the right area there? Nope. I got confused. This is the area I wanted. I hope I'm looking at what I want to be looking at. Alright, let's try this. Oh, my missiles are not armed yet. Okay.
5 miles to the target.
That's bizarre. There must be something I'm not doing correctly. Set it back to 1 here. Set this back to TV. Oh, that's why I'm not armed. Master Arm wasn't on. Another one of those switch things. Yeah, that looks like some smoke from some vehicles there, so should be fine. I'm just gonna move a little bit further so that I have time to target. We've got gas, we've got power, let's use it. It's not a tank.
5 miles to target.
So it's not the one I want. That one here? Yeah, that's the one I want.
Okay, we've got mud. 2 o'clock. SA8.
That was close.
2 miles to
I
the
knew
target.
I was getting really close to him when I fired that missile. But we got him. I think we took out part of the fence along with the tank. Alright. That was sport. Okay, so that's one of the things I didn't do earlier, bring that back to 0 when I was doing the bombs, but I don't know if it has any incidents. I still have one Maverick. I could try to use one of those on the T-72s and then use the rest of the bombs on whatever's left. Didn't think of that. But now if I turn the missiles back on, is it going to take 3 minutes? I think that's what's going to happen, so I'll go drop the bombs first.
Miles to the target.
Yeah, about that. We're going to be heading for the tanks now.
Mud, 12 o'clock. SA2. Alright. Alright, got good steering to the next turn point.
Thank you, sir. Again, we'll try not to head straight for the SA-8. That smoke here is my danger zone. I don't want to get there. And we want to get lined up on that road. Okay, so let's check everything before we drop. We're going to drop all 3. We're on bombs. Dive toss, 08. Looks good. Right. Got a visual on the tanks. Is that working? It's
I'm captured.
okay, he's captured.
Alright, turn point is updated. Captured.
That didn't work. We're getting shot by the AAA. The bombs are still there. That's how I know it didn't work. Maybe I wasn't high enough when I wanted to release. How are we doing on fuel? Burning a lot of it. Come on, get me on it.
I'm captured.
He's late on the capturing, so I can't drop my bombs. Gonna try something else. I'm probably getting shot at by the AAA again. Let's make sure we survive before we go try our missiles. Which side is the missile? It's on the right side. So we're gonna arm this guy. So we're still on the TV thing. Maybe it's because I was still on TV that the bombs didn't drop. But now we have 3 minutes to just fly around in circles. So let's watch the timer. 1 minute. Gonna try not to go towards the SA2. Two minutes. And getting on 3 minutes there. Jester to go to those tanks.
Wilco. Steering updated to next turn point.
I'm still on bombs. This 3 minutes was for nothing. Sorry for my idiocy there. Maybe the lesson here should be I should just carry one type of weapon per mission. I'm too dumb to switch weapons in flight. The sad part is I got the whole mission done in one shot when I tested it, of course. But now I needed 2 loads of weapons and I can't get it done properly because I'm live.
I've got steering updated to next turn point.
Oh, did we just fly over it? Yeah. Guess what? We're going back in about 2 minutes.
Roger that. Next turn point is updated.
In a minute and a half. 2 minutes. If anybody ever wondered why you shoot the Mavericks
Fuel check,
before...
how we looking?
If you were wondering why we shoot the Mavericks before we shoot the bombs, it's because it takes 3 minutes if you need to reinitialize the Mavericks like we've done twice now. But the good news is it says arm, so if I click now I should get a camera. And my hope is that we can point that camera at the T-72s and blow at least one of the tanks, and then we'll have a nice smoke marker on our target because it's going to be burning. So this is the area where we're going. Somewhere around there. So I'm going to climb. Okay. Where's that destroyed bridge? Four miles. C2 is there. The geography is confusing me and this cockpit doesn't allow me to see what I want to see. Okay. So I'm going to turn like that.
Okay, got good steering to the next turn point.
So this area here is where I want to go. Okay, so those are the tanks on the road there. I'll try to get the center one. Come on. Doesn't want to lock and I'm about to crash. And I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm getting shot by the AAA now. It's not an easy one. I'll use those little lakes as something to line me up because I was trying to use the roads and the forests earlier and it got me confused. So those little lakes lead to the ridge area where that tank is going to be. Alright, let's do this. Probably not going to be able to do too many passes because we're getting low on fuel now. Okay, so get it centered. Something like that. Okay, I got a lot. Now, let's switch to bombs. Ooh. This center. Wondering if I even got a hit with that Maverick. Well, it's gonna be bombing time and then go home time. So we better get it right. Tell me you captured.
Captured.
Yeah. I tried this. Maybe that's gonna help. I'm not even sure. How's that AAA? Yeah, we're very low on fuel. I think what I'll do is I'll just go do a direct drop. Bombs, direct. Let's hope for the best. Bombs away. Well, we made boom boom, but didn't hit the target. But now we gotta go home because I'm not even sure we'll make it. So we will climb and head home, knowing that at least we got our T-80s and that we scared some T-72s. Can't win them all. It's a fun practice though. Now, let's see here, just for fun as we're just climbing away. And you see the 3 tanks here, they're not even damaged. I made some nice holes, but I didn't kill anybody. So we're 26 miles, 24 for fuel. We should make it, I think. So while I climb, let's go check if there's anything on the chat. Oh, there's a few people watching. I guess some of the suspense went away when I stopped hitting targets and I ran out of bombs. Oh, look, a stadium. Power plant. Industrial areas. Didn't check earlier to see if there was any visible damage when he said we're hit. Doesn't look like there's much. And so now we're gonna go and drop some altitude, gain some speed. Get lined up with our runway. You fly high over populated areas like that, it's kind of risky to drop the fuel tanks. It could have saved me a little bit of weight, but don't want to risk it. 'Cause these are pretty big things when they land in your backyard. I think that's the airfield. And we're almost at our final waypoint to line up.
Alright, next turn point is in.
Infield 4, inbound.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's been a little bit of a shift in my gyroscopes with all the flying I've done because the arrow's not pointing in the right area. But that looks like our airport right there, yeah.
Infield 4, request landing.
Gear coming down, flaps coming down.
Okay, gear, flaps, pressure, warning lights, anti-skid. $500. $300. $100. That was pretty good, man.
At least I can still land. I'll take that. Drop the parachute. There we go. And we go parked at some of those big hangars there. How do we taxi to that area? We have to go past the tower. Okay. Let's try this. This is another way of exploring the new map. It's to taxi the different airfields. See what taxiway leads to what parking lot. Is it me or is it hot in here? I guess Jester thinks it's hot too. It was a long, semi-successful mission. We need the fresh air. It's a nice tower with lots of peace wagons. I call the Westphalia the peace wagon. See if I can get in there and turn around. Probably can. Something like that. Looks good enough for me. You can push it backwards a little bit. Alright, let's do the lazy shutdown.
Roger. Yes, sir. Wheel chocks in.
Let's go check out our map again. Well, that fuel truck got hit by the bombs. It's not even smoking, but it's damaged. Let's see. I think it was in this area here that I got the first T-80. There he is. So that's our first T-80 that we got. And then on the other side of the forest, close to the fence that I broke, we have the other T-80. So those two got dispatched. But our bombs were meant for these 3 T-72s, which managed to escape. So all in all, it wasn't a bad mission, but I would have liked to get everything. But it's quite fun to make little scenarios like that, especially like it makes it feel like that scenario where it could have happened during the 80s, right? And this time I had even set the country for USSR, because we can set the enemy vehicles for the Soviet Union. So as I said, this is a mission I'd like to continue to work on and add a few more things, more planes and things like that. But if you thought it was interesting, drop a line in the comments and say, hey, you should continue with that idea. So there, we're back to base. We'll probably need a few repairs because that AAA, I think, was able to shoot a few holes in the fuselage, but we live to fight another day. So hope you enjoyed. Cool handout.